Hello, my name is Kong. I'm from Mako Solar. So we are EPC and developer. Today I will be moderating this session. Um, may I ask the panelists have a quick introduction about yourself and your company? What do you do? Yeah.
Thank you, Kong. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Gino Lescano from Solar Riva. I'm actually based in the Philippines. So this is actually my first time here in Malaysia. And it is actually very interesting that I'm part of the panel. Because, it actually makes sense that for us to be able to understand where we're actually at in Malaysia is we need to understand how other ASEAN countries are doing as well. So it'll be nice if you compare different countries as well. So Solar Riva, we actually started with residential market, but we're leaning forward into venturing into the C&I and other different services as well for different solar companies.
Right, good afternoon. My name is Lionel. I am the secretary for the Photovoltaic Industry Association, short version for the Solar Association of Malaysia. Some of you are staring up here and wondering, we have a solar association in Malaysia? Yes, we actually do. We've been at this for the last 20 years, and we have seen solar go from a novelty to a necessity, all right? So I won't hog this thing too much. Those of you in the industry already know what's going on. And those of you who are interested to come into the industry, this is a good place to be. I'll just pass the mic over to my buddy on my left, and he'll introduce himself. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Adam Chew. I'm from Gentari Renewable Sdn Bhd. A lot of you know Gentari because of the brand. We are doing a lot of EVs, EV chargers. You see our brands everywhere. Gentari is a 100% owned subsidiary of Petronas Berhad. And our roles are actually asset owners, developers for Petronas groups on renewable energy, sustainable energy, EVs, and hydrogens. So, yeah.
Okay, so we have quite a good mix of panelists, interesting panelists here. Association representative, okay, and our GLC representative, Petronas Gentari, and also our ASEAN buddies is here, all the way from Philippines. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. Today's topics for our panelists is the C&I rooftop, the exponential growth. So maybe I could start with Lionel. Can you bring us through, the journey, how we started, and probably Adam can share also how do we evolve, these industries.
All right.
Oh, welcome.
Welcome. This is AJ
Professor
Zainal. We'll
Zainal.
let him introduce himself first.
Yeah.
Sorry guys. My name is Zainal, currently the professor at the University of Putra, Malaysia. So my field in high voltage and also in lightning protection. Thank you.
Great. We have another panelist from the academic and universities. Welcome.
All right, so we'll do this. Okay, so solar in this country began at a time when it was beautiful for my colleague here on my left, where petrol and everything was fine. It was bold, underlined, italic, solar will never, ever, never happen in Malaysia. 20 years later, which if you think about it is a very short period of time, this has evolved into something completely different. What we have seen is something which has literally, as I said earlier, novelty to necessity. All right? So we talked about the panel before this was talking about the dangers of greenwashing. We're talking about the dangers of just going through the motions. Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon here, today, we are going to talk about what actually makes a difference. And the main thing here has always been rooftops. Large solar farms. Any bankers in the room? No, I think they're outside. All the bankers would be looking for the big projects, but really, there's a lot of money in rooftops. So that's where we are right now. And this is where it's come to. where it used to take months to close a project for a house, it now takes a day, because now banks have come to realize that houses actually, by sheer volume, anyone here can hazard a guess how many houses are there, landed properties in Malaysia right now? Anyone? Okay, 3.1, 3.2 million rooftops. Less than 0.01% actually have solar on it. All right, so this is perspective. So I'll leave it there so that the rest of my colleagues here can have a say as well.
Yeah, probably for that, to add on that, the whole idea now, we are very hot on ESG and decarbonization, okay? So we have a giant in the hall here. Maybe Adam can share, what is Petronas and Gentari vision, about, how to bring the whole industry up in this decarbonization process in line with our Malaysia year 2030 targets.
When people hear about Gentari, they think about Petronas. Petronas have a lot of assets in Malaysia, and Petronas is pledged to have decarbonizations program that Gentari is assisting in this particular program to decarbonize Petronas assets throughout Malaysia. Of course, when we talk about Petronas, I think a lot of you start to think about petrol stations. We have around 800 to 1,000 petrol stations in Malaysia. Okay, that is actually very straightforward. And we are looking forward to install solar on the petrol station rooftops nationwide as part of the decarbonization program, besides all the rest of the Petronas business units, for example, like Petronas Chemicals and other assets, like maybe talk about buildings like KLCC itself. Of course the roof is not very big, but if you actually accumulate all these roofs together, it's actually become very big. Mandarin Orientals, some people will be surprised that ExxonMobil also belongs to us. Harriet Ward University in Putrajaya, we actually have a lot of assets actually, So talk about rooftops, we have a big share in it, but not forgetting, not just bound to Petronas alone, but we are actually talking about rooftops, including some public amenities, for example, like our airports. Our airport's roof is actually pretty big, that we actually can build solar on these rooftops, to assist, to bring the overheads down, for the operations of the airports, which in return benefits the public and every single people who is flying. So I'll just keep it a brief over there.
Thank you so much for the insight. So we are looking forward to all the petrol stations to have solar on it as a part of the effort to decarbonize. And may I move to Professor Zainal, that we understand that UPM is one of the early adopter of this large-scale rooftop. So maybe you would like to share about your projects.
Okay, thank you, KK. I think being the university, we cannot also run away from whatever the initiative and also directions from the government point of view. In that sense, we just commissioned our 16 megawatt rooftop solar PV at the entire campus in Serdang. And interestingly, because that project basically is zero capex model, about 45 millions of investment, and we have forecasted roughly about 114 million saving for the next 25 years. And interestingly, I can share good news as of September this year. So we already saved 2.5 millions, which is still we have few more months to go. And initially, we have targeted only 1 million saving, but now it's already 2.5 millions. And interestingly about the project, because it is also coming up with the solar floating and walkaway system, for which, as part of our research R&D, we have also aquaponic systems that embedded in that particular project. You are more than welcome to come and visit UPM for that purpose. It's very interesting, and also from the academic point of view, only starting this year that there is the evaluations when it comes to the ranking of the university, for which 5% have been allocated towards the sustainability. So having this largest rooftop in the country at the moment certainly help us in pushing our green initiative.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's very interesting to know that the project not only consists of a rooftop, it also have floating and walkway. So keep it up. So let's go to Gino. So can you share about your experience, in terms of rooftop market, and let's exchange some information.
Right. Okay. So basically, solar in general is starting to get better in Asia, not just in Malaysia. But comparing Malaysia to other ASEAN countries, I can actually see that you're way ahead than, at least talking in behalf of the Philippines, you're actually way ahead when it comes to processes and timeline. One of the key factors in sustainability of the industry is the processes. Everyone should be involved, not just the people in the upper level of the organization, but also those people at the bottom. Usually, a lot of projects takes time. I mean, before you move on to the next project, it takes a lot of time for you to fulfill the requirements of the previous project. Now, what happens usually is we encounter another problem, which is also a vital factor in the solar industry, which is our human resources. So usually when things are slow, so let's say we focus on one project, we implement it, we start to recruit people to work under that specific project. But then after installation, we move on to the next project, and it takes a lot of months again before we start implementing the project. So what happens usually is these people, they move from your company to another company. Now, when you start the project, you'll have a problem of recruiting people, because basically these people who used to work for you in the first project now move to another company. Now, if you can make the processes fast, probably, which I believe is already fast in Malaysia, because I've heard it'll probably takes 3 years before you start a project from scratch. In the Philippines, actually, 3 years could be just the permitting without all the studies, but it's politically charged, unlike in Malaysia. However, even if things are really great in Malaysia when it comes to processes, we also have to take into considerations that some of these processes actually takes time, because these people at the bottom level at the lower level of organization are not well trained. So I guess it's another vital factor. I guess educating not just the market but also the people who are involved. I mean, us, we voluntarily get involved, but we also have to look at those people who just take this job for income. People who are not too passionate about the solar industry. We have to go deeper into that to make everything more sustainable and faster. So.
Thank you for sharing the Philippines challenges. So let's come back to Malaysia. So probably the panelists can share, what and how the barrier, can be broken, to accelerate, towards our Malaysia year 2030's goal, So we have another 6 years, so to reach 2030s, but we are a long way to go, about 4 giga more. Okay, maybe Adam, and then after that Lionel.
Yeah, the target for 2030 for Malaysia is 6 gigawatt for rooftop installation here. And currently we are around 2 gigawatt solar installation in Malaysia, okay, not only to rooftop here. So we actually have 4 gigawatt gaps there, and we have 6 years to catch up. Yeah, many programs have been made available in Malaysia, including the most recent CGPP programs that you will see. And also with the current government that is actually progressing pretty well, I will have to say it. Under the National Energy Transition Roadmap, there are many programs that will be made available to catch up with these target that we have. So, of course, not least, come back to this topic on rooftops. Okay, there are actually many rooftops in Malaysia, like what Lionel have mentioned. To echo on that, these rooftops are readily available, and you actually can install the solar panels on these rooftops without causing any damage to the environment. Some of it we will say that, well, you take down the forest, you build the ground-mounted solar farms, okay, and you take down the trees. It's not something very good that you all been doing. Yeah, so rooftops is actually a very, I would say, straightforward way, okay, that you actually can install. But unfortunately, some of these rooftops, okay, is big, like warehouses. You see some of these big warehouses in Shah Alam, in Klang area, in Port Klang area, but their electricity consumption is actually pretty low, for your information. But based on the current guideline that we have, you actually can't possibly be putting a lot of solar panels on these nice rooftops that is readily available for installation of solar systems. So maybe, okay, our government, the regulatory body, and the authorities can look into this, okay, to have some programs, okay, for example, like third-party access, yeah, okay, to proceed, okay, the growth of exponential growth of solar installation on the rooftop in Malaysia.
So maybe Lionel can share a bit what the association, you know, as the representative of the industry is doing together with the authorities, you know, to push this forward, you see. So the political will is there for Malaysia, top down from PMX, you know, to the ministers levels, all are pushing forwards. So how about the authority side?
All right. So as far as the industry is concerned, one of the things that we do a lot of is we nag people. So we nag the government a lot. We've been nagging them for the last 20 years, all right? But there's a way to nag them for them to listen to us. So that's one. Number two, something that you should bear in mind, the current administration in Malaysia is the first time, and the industry is taking this very seriously, it is the first time you have a government that is willing to listen and able to implement political will to push things forward. So this is a time now where it's actually a sweet spot for us to try and push PV forward as far as possible. Now I want to pick up something what Adam said as well earlier about third-party access. Some of you are aware, and some of the earlier speakers have already touched on the CGPP, the Corporate Green Power Program, right? Now, if you look at it carefully, it is in a way, my personal opinion, it is in a way a test tube, a test run for third-party access, all right? So broad strokes, you can have a farm in the north selling to clients in the south, right? And this opens up a whole new opportunity. Those warehouses that Adam was talking about with rooftops available, if there's a tweak in the guideline in which what we are leaning towards, you could be just saying, leasing a bunch of rooftops to sell electricity somewhere else, right? And what's interesting for solar in this country now, it opens up new possibilities for new business models, which is what finance is actually more interested to look at rather than, okay, we've got a plot of land, we've got a rooftop, blah, 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 let's just do this, all right? So this is the opportunity right now to go forward. And for the benefit of those people here, Prof. Zainal mentioned just now, 16 megawatt rooftop. What does this look like in real life? all of you here are familiar with hypermarkets, right? It used to be Tesco, now it's called Lotus, right? 16 rooftops, 16 Lotuses is what their campus has right now as far as solar is concerned. That's a lot of panels. And we have barely scratched the surface of it in Malaysia. So, food for thought, ladies and gentlemen. We have only just begun. Even after 20 years, we have only just begun.
Thank you, thank you. So that gives you an insight, of the potential of this. We were really able to achieve exponential growth, and in this, we have how many years? 6 more years, okay? Let's do it. So, Professor Zainal, so having said that, when we want to achieve this goal, how, in your opinion, is our grid able to, take this kind of capacities? Are they ready? Are we going to face what Vietnam is facing? Curtailment, the grid instability, this and that, what's your comment on that?
Yeah, it's very good questions. And luckily, I think because we have a very clear policy and also procedures for which every penetration, has to go through, process like to carry out PSS requirement and whatnot. And that is very, very important because that allows us to actually look at the capacity and also capability of the grid. And in that sense, I think in terms of pushing to the limits, we do have a very clear, I would say, target. 2 billion last month announced by PMX, as well as even when it comes to the financing. I think within 2030 there will be like no, not 2030. It's next year. CIMB, for instance, is going to put like 100 billion, for the green financing. So this is a lot of effort. Basically, if you can look, from the perspective of all the, the stakeholders. And I think one thing that I would like to comment on that, as I said, that we have, carefully take into account in terms of what will be the, the grid capability, especially when we're talking about the grid readiness. Because just to share, even in the US at the moment, is 1 terawatt in terms of the system capacity is waiting to be connected to the grid. So imagine if the same thing happened. And as I said that, we are so lucky because whatever the whatever the amount of quota allocated, whatever the the procedure are already in place, so that we do not face the same problem as going to be as already been faced by the Vietnam.
Thank you. That's very comforting to hear that, especially for the investors. I see that a lot of foreign investors are here to understand the market. We are pretty slow and steady. Our volume is not gigawatt level, but we are going towards there. Yeah. So how about in Philippines?
Well, I actually would like to agree that financial factor is a vital one in this industry. We all understand that it really takes a big investment for us to be able to put up a solar project, especially for the C&I, for medium scale to larger scale projects. So it'll be nice if we can get more stakeholder to go into this industry, so we could look at different financing options. More than that, I guess competitiveness as well is an important factor, since we see that there are lots of players who are getting involved in the solar industry. It is nice that we offer different options, probably lower or cheaper options as well, so it'll be more affordable for the market. And it's also nice that government are taking initiatives and implementing rules and regulations that could help boost the interest of the market into the solar or renewable energy in general. It's actually nice that you have a government incentive here in Malaysia, which you can take up to 48% tax reduction, if I'm not mistaken. Correct, right? So it's up to 48%. So I guess that's a nice move. So if we can get everyone involved, then I think there'll be a great future for us to keep moving forward.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that probably something that you can propose back to your government to have such an attractive incentive. Okay, so we have roughly about 10 more minutes. Okay, I'd like to have this last question to the panelists, as in, again, is boiled down to achieve the year 2030 targets. You know, how do we solarize all our roof that Lionel have mentioned? Okay, aren't we feel that, you know, we need more talent? Okay, so can the panelists comment on, you know, what should the industries, the governments do about this, you know, in terms of the readiness of the workforce to actually achieve this target? You know, we can talk a lot, but do we really have enough people, talents, you know, to grow this market? Probably from Adam. Adam have some great ideas just now. Before this session, we have a chat.
Well, we were discussing about shortage of certain talents that can contribute to the industries. In particular, some skilled workers, for example, professionals, I will call them, like the wireman and the chargeman. Whereby I think throughout the years, okay, we actually have complement the existing wiremen and chargemen in Malaysia with solar photovoltaic knowledge and trainings, and certify them to be certified GCPV, grid connected photovoltaic wiremen and chargemen. So that actually makes the job a little bit more glamour than just wireman and chargeman. And I think currently, besides renewable energies, we talk about sustainabilities and all these things. One of the most in thing that we are talking about is actually EV, made famous by Elon Musk. Okay, and we are actually thinking to incorporate EV charging station trainings, okay, for these wiremen and chargemen, to make them competent to be look into installation of EV charging station and maintenance of these charging stations as well. So this is going to bring back the more people into this job, okay, and this also promotes better salary range, okay, for this group of people.
So, carrying on where Adam left off on the skill set, I think one thing that the association has always been pushing for is based on one simple word: dignity. A lot of times in Malaysia, we always see people who work with their hands as not as atas, not as qualified, not as good as somebody with a degree. And yet in our industry, the panelists all up here, I can say beyond a shadow of doubt, have all had hand-on experience, literally walked through some very yucky stuff to get the job done. And this is important. And that has bode them well in terms of how they do their jobs now. And it boils back down to skill, not just knowledge. And why I come back to the word dignity is because a lot of times when you have manual labor involved, it's hot, it's sweaty, but as Adam was saying, if you're involved in solar, you're hot, you're sweaty, but you are also wearing your Ray-Bans. You are now a qualified drone pilot. You are now actually doing surveys across plots of land or rooftops using very expensive that cost a drone to actually see property, survey. All actually looks cool. Magazine covers. So you're sweating. Get there, we get upset people. We get there changing education. As far as technology is already available. Those of you who have automatic, so it's not a question of not actually take. It can take the. question of fast it's done. And I believe it's left for to answer that question. How fast can we get?
Great, Lionel. Please send your guy to MPI trainings. Yeah, that is one of our universities are courses and up plan.
I mean, thank you. I mean, of course, we do have, of the courses that, as the professional registration. Just to give an example, have the but the issue and package, particular courses like with certificates. Issue here, of course, at some point, I think this the point of view looking into time. It's less than that. I think less than 20%. Current students are actually that and losing. And look at the one of the good example. One reason the salary. So the issue, if we have, but how we can actually target also to really as far as PhD program. Yes, we do have of course, but more engagement industry. For example, maybe especially the student to provide some certification so that when student graduate, you just from academic qualifications, also the skill set required job.
Excellent ideas. So let's do that. And how about
So a while ago that competition and completely played an important role in this. It's also encourage collaboration industry different solar companies. Find some use where we can implement together rather than competing against each other. If you find there will be companies at different levels. Company or higher city, you accept a contract, then it'll be nice out to better implement. So it's one of the most things in the industry of collaborate work together for our global energy.
May I ask panelists to share some takeaway words, wrap up the session.
I think the easiest way to solar system which actually have requirements, also have a lot to be for example, you need the right and some attribute all this here. So it's actually straightforward. And just do rooftops. What we mentioned is excluding the residential that we are. Which actually is a very high pressure for ideas, or industries. So key takes each least I want to advocate for the government to come up with more encouraging with progress, using certain requirements on the grid patterns that so industry is exponential way, especially.
Okay. I guess we all want, yeah, right? Yeah.
Right. The reason why the most of who are here in solar, the West, because yeah, it's true. It's direct impact. Megawatt called in, you create every megawatt 4.28 new jobs. This number is in more than 8.5 new jobs in Malaysia. We're slightly less if you're in solar. After a while, you realize being the economic growth or catalyst. So for me, this growth for the is it. This will back a lot more jobs. It will create jobs. It puts dignity back into people who use their hands for a change. That's skill. Some things textbooks cannot teach you. And I look forward to greater growth in that regard in this country.
Yeah, that's what I told my team, almost every week, that we must be very proud of what we do. Every single solar panel that they design, every one that they carry, from the ground to the roof, sweating, that is what we're proud of, to help our planet and Mother Nature, to decarbonize. So the dignity, like Lionel mentioned just now, that's a very great word. I will borrow that. Thank you, Lionel. Next.
My quick takeaway, basically, I just would like to quote what the minister has said when we met last month. The future of the solar PV will be the rooftop. That's what he says. And having said that, soon there will be a new tariff segment to be introduced. And whether it's going to be good or bad, then it is something that, we are eagerly, waiting for that. So the future is very bright as far as the solar PV is concerned, definitely.
So look forward in the next 6 years, Prof can produce more and more graduates and students for us, for our industry. Yeah.
So my brief takeaway on this is we've really come so far in the industry, but we're still far. So if we can get everyone involved and give equal respect and importance to all stakeholders from the bottom to the higher level of organization, then I think we can move forward together. So that's all for me.
Yeah, so thank you so much. I actually looking forward beyond Malaysia, hopefully, that with all the cross-border program that, our ASEAN countries, have a integrated grid, for energy security, for food security, so all boils down to everything can only happen with energies. Without the electrons, positive, negative, nothing can work, you see. So we are in a very vibrant industries. This is just the beginning, okay? And thank you very much. Thank you to panelists. Let's give a round of applause to my
Thank you
fellow
very
panelists.
much, Kong,
Yes.
Zainal, Gino, Lionel, and Adam for the
wait,
very
hold on.
inspiring and
Hold
insightful
on.
session.
I saw a famous
We are still on
Hong Kong-
time.
I saw a famous Hong Kong actor do this on the stage recently. Can I do the same thing?
Let's do it.
Yes,
Let's do
of
it.
course.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
let's have a
Perform for
selfie.
us.
Yeah.
How?
Come on.
How are we doing it? Okay, yeah, something like that.
All
right?
right.
So, is there a sign for our energy industries? Probably someone should come with that,
Can I get everyone to shout out or stand up and cheer for this for selfie?
Yeah, we're in this industry, yeah.
Can
This
we
is the
have
last
everybody
session.
to stand up, please?
Yeah, come on. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Solar Malaysia.
Thank you very much. Can we get a group photo as well? Before you go, just one group photo and a quick video.